Biana and I have met each other before because we've both done shows about whiteness and lightness, and so we thought it'd be interesting to do a show about the dark. And we ended up making a show about light because that's what you see in the dark. You know, in the nighttime you just see light. So it's all different degrees of light in the dark. And we thought it would be interesting. We thought it'd be interesting from a light point of view, but actually we've ended up making a show about sound in a way, because the show is much more of a sound piece. Because the children are so small, it's how dark can you make it? Can you sit in the dark with a 3-year-old? It's quite tricky. So although it is about light, it's mainly about sound and trying to work out different ways of telling a story in the dark. Interestingly repetitive and boring, but exciting. Because think about it, you have to do the same thing over and over again. You have to try and find it, make it interesting. But actually, that's part of the fascination of doing it, of trying to make it live and trying to listen to the audience and trying to, particularly with very small children who will tell you very quickly if they're not interested. So you have to try and work out ways to bring them in, and that's not necessarily about constantly going to them. It's sometimes about, you know, hiding something, and then they go, well, I want to see what's in here. So. Yeah, I think sometimes it's, people think being on stage is exciting, and actually sometimes it's really hard work because the concentration that you're putting in to try and keep things together, keep running, but also listening to what the audience is telling you. If I knew that, I would make great shows all the time, and sometimes I make nice shows and sometimes I don't. So I think it's about, I think it's interesting in this show because there's a lot of things which are beautiful, but actually if you're 3, then you don't really see beauty in the same way. You know, as an adult, you can look at it and go, wow, I can sit and look at that view forever. A 3-year-old will go, I've seen it, you know, within 10 seconds. It's interesting at the start of the show, I polish glasses, and it's because I was walking down the street one time and I noticed a very small child just staring at somebody doing a very boring job, like chipping off the cement off tiles and putting them to this. But they just love the activity of it. So they have a different capacity for interest. But I think I try not to bore them. I try to sort of say, are they getting bored? And you can stretch that a little bit, but you can't stretch it too much. You have to kind of move it on and try and make it interesting. It's just that thing where you watch children around and you see what they do. You know, the other day I was on the bridge going across to the trains, and you know, some children were just stood looking at the track, and they were, you know, to all intents and purposes, they were staring at nothing. But actually, you know that what they're staring for is they're waiting for the moment the train comes in or goes out. And so we can look at it and go, well, they're not doing anything, but they are. There's another thing, like, you know, sometimes children will put something down and they walk away from it. And so a parent will clear it up and say, you know, you're finished with it. But actually the child has just left it there. They know where they've left it, and often you'll see them come back to it and go, where's my thing gone? You know, they've just got a different capacity to an adult. I mean, we have a stars section, and the stars section in the show is much shorter than it was to start with, because the kids were like, we've got it, we see it, fine, now next thing. And then other sections which have grown because they've gone, they find interest in it, and you just have to kind of listen to the audience. You know, that's the interesting thing about making shows for this age group is, you know, I'm not 3, you're not 3, you know, but we've all been 3. So it's trying to listen to what these 3-year-olds are telling you and trying to get back to where you've been and trying to find things that are interesting. We've all got that 3-year-old, 6-year-old within us somewhere.